One of the most difficult decisions of life is deciding what career path you want to go down. So during college, I've experienced multiple career paths that I thought I wanted to do, but I ended up changing my major because I had no idea what direction I wanted to take. I have so many interests, but it's time to narrow it down to what you actually want to do. Okay, so during my interview, I've gathered significant information for my future career path. I've learned that there are important things that you will love about the job, but there are things that you will also hate about the job. But one of the things that you love is that you'll be able to, for energy commerce, you'll be able to stay up to date with the oil and the gas markets that are going on in the current time. And making connections and always learning to adapt to the new issues that are happening. However, there are things that you will dislike in that work field. And one of them, when I had interviewed my interviewee, Logan, he has stated that one of the things that he hated was the commute that he has to make going back and forth in downtown. And all the traffic that he has to deal with every single morning and every single afternoon. Furthermore, when I interviewed Logan, he wished that he had known that the work life was really what the work life was really like. He had the impression that work life was very stubborn, like stiff on what you had to do, and everyone was very professional. But in his time of his work, he realized that everybody really isn't as stiff for the job, and actually they are a little bit, friendly and actually still professional in their workplace. So when I had asked him what advice he had wished he was given for searching a job in the field, he replied that you should always do the best you can at each job you are given, and to keep your mind off of the next job. You should focus on what is happening at the time, and that should be your main focus. Because he believes that you will get there one day if you do your hard work at the time being. So throughout this interview, I realized there were multiple things that I believe I did well on during the interview process. One being that the interview actually ran longer than I had planned when I had asked him these questions. He provided me with very informative responses that could help me and for my future. I could take away information that he gave me and apply it into the real world later on. So also, there was this connection that we both had during the process. I was able to have this click with him when I had interviewed him, and the conversation that we both had flowed very, very well. It wasn't awkward, there was no pauses, it was just a normal conversation. However, I did notice there were some things I felt like I could work on during my interviewee process. One of the major things I noticed was the anxiety that I had dealt with during the interview, as well as the fact that I may have been repetitive with some of the questions that I'd asked. I would ask him some things, and then I would ask him again on something else, like another question, but it may have basically just been restated. So I feel like that's one thing I could work on myself, is having some questions already planned ahead of time so there's no repetition. So, furthermore, during my time of interviewing, I've learned that it's okay to be a little nervous, but you should also try to keep the conversation flowing very smoothly and just make it natural. Just natural, not awkward or anything like that. So also, it is very important to ask questions that the interviewer is capable of providing valid answers. But in the time of doing so, you should try to pick out the key concepts that in his response in order to figure out if the person is fit and capable for the job that he is applying to. Alright, thank you for your time. Have a good night.